Trade war. That's a term that strikes fear in the hearts of globalists, but conjures up a possible just crusade in the minds of the dislocated. The Section 232 trade remedy action the President declared on the 1st of March, a 25% tariff on steel imports and a 10% tariff on aluminum imports, is the 10th significant trade action the President has taken since coming into office. All 10 actions, and most of all this Section 232 action, make clear the United States has launched a global trade war. The only question is, how long and how bloody will that war be? And the answer will depend very much on the response of trading partners, including India, around the world. Let's consider a number of key questions and answers to understand what's going on and whether or not the Section 232 action in particular is justified. First, what is Section 232? It is the only trade remedy in America's arsenal that is directly linked to national security. It dates from the Kennedy administration and is part of the 1962 Trade Expansion Act. Section 232 relies on the key terms impairment of national security. What does impairment mean? What does national security mean? Section 232 leaves those two key terms largely undefined and thereby maximizes the discretion of the President to take action. In other words, those two key terms are left strategically, legally ambiguous. What are the legal criteria for imposing the Section 232 action? There are a number of them, but basically they amount to this. What is America's domestic production capacity for steel and aluminum in relation to imports of steel and aluminum, with a view to satisfying America's national security needs for steel and aluminum? How broad is the discretion of the Commander-in-Chief under Section 232? Very. The President can take any trade remedy action, tariffs, quotas, tariff rate quotas, import bans, to adjust the levels of imports so as to protect the national security. How often has Section 232 been invoked by an American president? Only twice. There have been 26 Section 232 investigations, only by President Ford in 1975 and President Carter in 1979 has Section 232 actually been used to whack imports. In this Section 232 case, what options did the Commerce Department recommend to President Trump? Well, the Commerce Department recommended three options: a global tariff, a hybrid option involving a tariff for some countries and a quota for others, and a global quota option. What option did President Trump take? None of them. He took an enhanced tariff option. In other words, he took the global tariff option, a recommendation of 24%, added 1 more percent on that, thus getting a 25% tariff on steel. And with respect to aluminum, he took the Commerce Department's recommendation of a 7.7% tariff on all aluminum and rounded it up to 10%. Why did President Trump pick an enhanced tariff? The answers are jobs, votes, circumvention of anti-dumping and countervailing duty orders, production capacity utilization, and war. But do those answers really justify invocation of Section 232? Arguably, no. The empirical evidence is pretty clear that the case for Section 232 is weak at best, and much of America does not support imposing tariffs on steel and aluminum. Moreover, it's clear that America faces retaliation not only by individual countries against key products that America exports, both agricultural and industrial products, but also at the WTO level. The real problem in the steel and aluminum industries is global overcapacity. And so the wise solution is to work together with other countries to reduce production capacity. What would John F. Kennedy, the president who signed the Section 232 legislation, do? President Kennedy never intended Section 232 to be an offensive weapon to launch a trade war, and he always knew to give his adversaries a face-saving way out. That's how he avoided escalating the Cuban Missile Crisis into nuclear war. The United States should take a lesson from President Kennedy.